Well, hello there, everyone. Today I put kind of a vague title, Creating the Island, because we're going to kind of jump around a bunch of places. There are several things I'm trying to do at once, so we're just going to kind of move around and get some of that done. Some of it is adding more interactable items throughout the environment, things like rocks you can mine, stuff like that. So we're going to move around and do some of that. And anything else we see that's on my list of things to do. Hello there. How's everyone doing today? Oh, yes, I haven't forgotten. I was actually looking into that just yesterday, I think. It's just crazy how I've never seen those succulents before, but they're just awesome. We're going to put some of these out here. Some little stones that are collectible. Ooh, I can imagine. I'm not a fan of math. I do wish you luck. Yep, no shame there. I've had to get help where I can. I know a few people, luckily, who are good at math, and I'm not one of them, so tried to get help when I could. Yep, same here. Just can't do it. My brain doesn't work that way. So right now we're just adding a bunch of these tiny stones. I'm glad to hear it. We work on it a lot. I don't know why I was avoiding adding them in the water. There's no reason not to add rocks to the water. Won't be long. I'm excited to see what people think about the map while they explore, and a little bit terrified, but anybody who shows their work feels that way. That sounds terrible. Yeah, I feel like I can, like, if it's something related to computers or anything like that, I can understand it really easily. But when it comes to math, absolutely not. Just doesn't work that way for me. Never played that game. Maybe I need to. There are Easter eggs and secrets. I can confirm this. In fact, no one has found them, except for the ones I've shown on the stream. Even Islander doesn't know where they are. It's part of the fun. Mm, I don't know if there's. Let me think on it and see if there's any hint I can give that wouldn't give it away too much. It would still be kind of hard to find even with the hint, but I want it to be a hunt for a while. That's pretty awesome. It sounds like I would appreciate that game. So far, the Easter eggs, I have some planned that are movie based, but I haven't put them in yet. I'm having to find a way to do it where it's not violating any copyright. Um, so you could say they're more game based. I used to feel that way when I did anything in Unreal, but yeah, now I'll sit here for 12 hours and do this. I just love it. I feel like in most situations that applies, but I don't particularly want to go to court. Maybe one day. Maybe if I'm really rich one day and I just feel like causing trouble. I would never. I know the feeling. It only recently got to where my bills and my desire to work on projects intertwined. I think I need to fix this up a little bit. Well, actually, yeah, I think I'd like to add more trees right here. I definitely don't have enough small palm saplings like that. The plants are going. Yeah, buying a car is a valid reason to need cash. I can confirm this. Where are my palm trees? There are the saplings. See, this is the problem with having so much foliage, managing all of it. Aha, there they are. You shall not escape me. That is an idea. Ooh, that's too dense. Just like me. In Texas, you definitely need a car. It's too big here. You can walk some places if you stay nearby, but everywhere just has miles of nothing between it. So you kind of need it. Yes, you're right. I'll put a saddle on some tumbleweeds and it will be great. Actually, I don't want those there so the players don't spawn in them. The one thing that I need to do is to populate more of the beach area in general, not just the Cove Beach, so that the rest of the beaches aren't empty. So we're going to do that. Ooh, poop. I actually found a ground texture that I like. I don't know yet if it's actually going to look good because I just found it yesterday and I haven't added it to the game yet, but maybe we'll try that out today. Let me see, I might just pull it up. Here it is. So this is what I'm considering for the jungle floor. We'll see how it looks. Might work, might not. I'm guessing it was a small poop. Didn't take that long. You have to see how much of the beach I've already populated over here. One, definitely need to add some of the little stones to pick up. All textures that you use for something like a landscape will be tiling. So usually I just use noise to break it up. go. Right now I'm just adding a bunch of the little stones to pick up. Just need to make sure to do that in all the relevant locations so that you have something to mine. I don't know exactly what we're looking for at the moment because Islander handles it, but if you'd like to contact him, let him know what you do on our Discord channel. I think one thing we're looking for is, well, no, actually, we don't need that anymore. I'm not 100% certain what he's looking for at the moment. So I think this is probably a little bit too sloped. So we'll fix it up a little bit. No, I don't believe so. I think he's just the one that agreed to stream. That's what I thought. I thought we had a few different people. Aha! Burb has arrived. It's okay. I have a feeling I'll be late one of these times too. More than like 10 minutes. I'll accidentally sleep. This is something I'll have to fix later. I know what's going on right there, but it will be a little tedious to fix. But let's see. Just need to lower this down a little bit. I'm pretty well. How about yourself? I love doing level design. But I also really love the technical aspect with nanite and lumen, so I was instantly drawn to doing anything I could with that. Hello there. Nocturnal life is hard, I can confirm. I'm switching over from nocturnal life to normal people schedule. Even that's been weird. I actually go to sleep at a reasonable hour now. Mr. Mini in the flesh. It is 64 square kilometers. It's pretty huge. The Plant Father. In the name of the Plant Father and the Sun. Yeah, I'm trying to make interesting places to go for people on flyers or as a flyer. I knew that was going to make that a little too sharp on the edge. Yes, if you would please address me that way from now on, I would love it. The Fern and Horseshoe Crab Cult. Yes. See, it's just great being surrounded by like-minded people. I accept it. I accept my new title. I won't stop it. I will take my place. I should probably save this before I get too far. Maybe I should go get another tattoo of a horseshoe crab. Yes, you should. I will scatter them everywhere if you make them. Thousands upon thousands. I don't think the YouTube chat lets you add media to it, does it? No, it doesn't. Ooh, not so fun. I've been there. Also, always a good idea to use source control if it's a important scene to you. You never know what could happen. There's a free source control I use for my personal projects so that I don't lose anything. Just realized I wasn't playing the music. Now we are. Sauce control. That's right, Taco Bell. Yeah, I'm not wearing my headphones while I stream, so I didn't know that the music wasn't playing, and then it just occurred to me that I never clicked play. I had to make the vibe right for the cult. What becomes your favorite screen as a level designer? Saving packages. Loading. For the record, I have 2 of the nettles finished. They're not in the game yet, but they're ready. I think my favorite part is all the inspiration I get just doing anything. Like if I'm just eating lunch or something and I think of something cool, I can go back here and do it later. So I love getting cool ideas and then getting to try them out. Something tells me I wouldn't be allowed. I think I have my limits. Although if it were up to me, I definitely would put a horseshoe crab in the logo. It seems right. I will always accept ideas. Because it's a huge map, so I don't always have a good idea for a specific spot, so what I'll do is move somewhere where I do feel a little bit more inspired, I guess, and then I come back later on for the other spots. Oh my god, yes. That would be amazing. Oh yes, there's plenty of hot air here. Not to mention, being in Texas, it's basically cultivated. Speaking of, I moved my, well, 2 of my trees, the giant sequoia and the coast redwood, to a much bigger location last night, so they have a lot more room to grow now. I could see that being helpful. I guess it's hard for me to say since the most experience I have is just things like planting trees, things like that. Which kind of helps me in placement of things, but I could see it being helpful as a level designer. Oh, we need to go a bit further. Just ignore that completely screwed up section right there. Yeah, that is true. It took a lot of understanding things on a technical level before I really became any good at level design. Because you can have good ideas and it can be difficult to execute them. So there's just a lot to learn. I think I should drop some of this down too. Um, I haven't really put a number to how many caves, but I plan to add quite a few. And there is a plan for a larger main cave system, although I haven't done it yet. First, I'm going to smooth this out before I shape it up a bit. I actually didn't know that about Dead Space. I think one of the big reasons I latched on to nanite so much is that I wanted to make really dense, realistic forests. And that was one of the biggest things I wanted to do. And nanite is one of the main reasons I can. I think I want to bring this down a little bit. It's hard to say exactly what it'll be because I'm also waiting to see how everybody's machine does on the upcoming tech demo. Because I've seen pretty low-end cards run it, but I wouldn't want to say until I can say for sure with the newest build. I'd like to get as much detailed information as I can on how it's running for everyone, but definitely going to try and support as wide of a range as we can. The Great Horseshoe Crab. Absolutely correct. What is this doing here? Unacceptable. Why? This will be rectified. Also floating tree. Be gone. I would say the 1080 should run it, because I've seen the 1060 run it. Although the 1060 wasn't ideal. My main goal, though, is to make sure that, if I can, I'll have it running for the 10 series on my end. But the 20 series, I think, is a good spot to aim for most modern games, because the 10 series is about 7 or 8 years old now, possibly older. So I generally try and aim the most for the 20 series, but that being said, the 10 series will often run levels I make just fine. Now let's fix some of this. As you see, a lot of today is fixing things, preparing things for the tech demo, that kind of thing. Yeah, I knew it was pretty up there. I didn't know it was 9 years, though. Definitely long-lived for a GPU. Which is impressive, but that is typically why I don't aim so much for the 10 series. But there is support for, or will be support for lighting other than lumen, so ray tracing won't be forced, but I am building the scenery based on ray tracing, which is lumen. Let's fix some of these spots. In fact, we'll just hide the ocean for a moment. Aha! Even more in here than I thought. And this won't stay this way, I just need to relocate our RVT volume. This is why it's good to hide the ocean every now and then, so I can see those things. But yeah, I may be focusing on the 20 series and up, but that doesn't mean that I won't push to make it run better on older cards too. Kind of smoothing this out a little bit. That is understandable. I actually don't have much social media myself, just a little bit. But no Facebook. I recently got, I'm going to call it Twitter because I prefer it. I got Twitter. But the forest is going well. I have this big raised flower bed kind of thing that I filled up with soil yesterday. And I moved my giant sequoia and my coast redwood over to it. And I actually have several new dawn redwoods. And no, we don't use LODs, just nanite. The whole game is designed around using nanite, so it just wouldn't be really feasible to switch between the two. Oh yes, I think they will, because they grow roots so rapidly that I just wanted to give them the biggest space I could without putting them in the ground. So that will definitely do it. But yes, everything in the map is designed around using nanite. So the trees, for example, none of them have masked foliage. All of it is full geometry modeled out. So that, for example, definitely wouldn't work with LODs. And the Dawn Redwoods that I got recently, they were free on Arbor Day. So now I have, well, I have 3 of those, and then the 4th one I gave to my parents. Right now we are on 5.4, so at the moment they're not using nanite, but as long as it performs well with the dinos, they will be using them in the future, or using nanite in the future. I'm testing that in a separate project right now with the dinos. Since nanite skeletal meshes haven't been around that long, I want to make sure it's actually going to work well. Yeah, mainly at the moment I'm looking to expand my little redwood forest, give him a few friends, and then I'd like to get a Hinoki cypress at some point. Mainly because my little side project that I have for fun, it's a famous forest in Japan, or infamous forest in Japan, and one of the main trees that grows there is the Hinoki cypress. What do you mean by player connections? As far as performance goes, though, every time I've used nanite skeletal meshes, it's been less intensive if you already have a nanite scene. Could always just go collect some out in the woods. I've done that too. Or seeds, if you want to grow them from seed. That's like a few bucks. So still money, but less money. Now we'll move a little bit further over this way. I think somewhere about here. Players being connected are slightly more intensive, but not particularly, because our server is running regardless, and that's where the AI are going to be mainly hosted, so it's pretty similar in terms of performance hit. For example, if I push play in the editor, it starts running the server. Ah, yeah. Soil can get expensive. I found a pretty good one, though, yesterday. I went to Lowe's, and it was $8 for 30 pounds, and it was actually really good soil. I was surprised. But yeah, as far as nanite goes, if you have a nanite scene, it's best to use as much nanite as possible if you use it anywhere, because it's its own separate rendering pipeline. So if you have the two mixed together, it's not really going to be ideal. Ah, there we are. Had to figure out where I was for a moment. But yeah, mainly today I'm trying to make sure we have enough out here that people can go around and mine things, collect things, resources. I don't know if I've seen that soil. I need to take a look. Since I mostly am growing different variants of redwoods, they're pretty picky about their soil, so I don't know if I've seen their setup, but the workflow for something like this normally, for example, for the landscape and everything inside of it, we're using world partition, which means only a small part of the map is loaded at any given time. And with Nanite, everything out of your view anyways is already culled, so yeah, we need some palm trees. We are indeed using world partition. That does sound good. Yeah, usually if a cactus does well in something, it's about the same for redwoods. Since they both need pretty well draining soil. Yeah, I've never thought about it that way. Minecraft does have a similar system to world partition. Yeah, it definitely makes it a little easier in that game because it's literally made of blocks. Really, with nanite, you wouldn't even necessarily have to have world partition, since you could just technically coal everything behind a large mountain, for example. The problem then would be loading the map to work on it. I wouldn't say that. The AI actors, for example, don't really have anything to do with world partition. They stream quite a bit differently, so I don't think it would make much of a difference in that regard. But working on it definitely wouldn't be possible without world partition. Could if you wanted it to. I've done it that way before. You can just have one large nav mesh that's pre-baked. However, it's not the best. Potentially. It would just depend on the settings you used, that kind of thing. That would be more of a question for our programmers. I'm not sure what they have them doing, but I think they have them free roaming. But it definitely is beneficial to have um, world partition nav meshes. Yeah, as far as I know, they are free roam. Okay, it looks like I've already gone here. So we're actually going to move to the other side of the map. Just trying to make sure we have a little bit on the beaches. Just basic things like palm trees and mineable rocks for now. What do you mean? As in commits as in using source control, or? Yeah, probably. I'm just the map guy. Gotta love it, compiling shaders. Yeah, our programmers are very good and definitely can do lots of things I have no idea about. I know maps, nanite and lumen, that kind of thing, optimization for those really well, but definitely not much on the programming side. Luckily, no. Definitely going to touch these beaches up later, but I wanted to at least have the very basics on all of them. Palm trees here and there, the minables. I didn't know they did either. I haven't seen one in forever. And I'm really glad for it. I really hated when they would come to my door. Gonna add some of these pebbles here. Just want to make sure there's stuff to mine everywhere you go so that people aren't stranded needing resources and having to walk 10 kilometers to get some. It can be pretty unpleasant. I'm pretty much always changing textures, so a lot of the ones you see now aren't going to stay that way. Most of the landscape textures will stay the same, but there are some with the jungle that I've had a hard time deciding on. However, we do potentially have a lighting artist that I'm bringing along that she's extremely good at lighting, so I'm looking forward to what she can do. But I am using a lot of shader work right now for things like subsurface scattering and specularity, things like that. It is good that you were nice to him at least. Although I wouldn't blame you if you weren't, because I don't like random people showing up at my door. Yes, I wish I had done some lighting classes in school if they had it, but I didn't have anything available like that. I'd love to learn more about it, and she's really great to learn from. But yeah, she knows way more than I do about lighting on a much more technical level. It's just such an in-depth subject. Oh, you lived with a Jehovah's Witness. How was that? Now, those definitely don't need to be on the side of a mountain. Is it really only two kinds of trees right here? Yeah, it really is. What do you know? I'm guessing it was parents then. That does sound terrible. Sorry I had to deal with that. Definitely no way to grow up. That's rough. Our own cult is much more powerful. We have the horseshoe crab. Do not fear, my son. The horseshoe crab shall protect you. What am I doing? I'm starting a cult. What's wrong with me? Oh boy. That is not fun. Sounds like You're probably in a better place now, though. The blue blood. Yes. We drink the blue blood on this day. I really don't know a whole lot about Jehovah's Witnesses, so I couldn't really make any comparisons, but a lot of religions in general are based on similar concepts. Not all of them, but a lot. It's a little more dense than I wanted. Ooh, this would be a good spot for a big cliff or something. I'll probably come back here. I see a lot of possibilities for this area. I've just had to focus more recently on doing fixes and things that'll make the actual gameplay nicer. So that is a lot of what we're doing today. Ooh, that is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not religious myself, but I'm fine with other people being religious. I think I know what you're talking about. The hexagon stones? I'm gonna need to Google it, because I think I know, but I don't know for sure. Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, I think basalt is right, if I'm saying that right. Let me Google it. Yes, it is basalt. Iceland, of course it is. Looks like this is going to take a minute to load. You cannot be brainwashed. You have the power of the horseshoe crab. There are no complaints from me. I may not be religious myself, but I feel like a lot of the pagan ones I've read about are pretty beneficial for people. And the earth a lot of times. Hmm. I'm hoping it's not frozen. I'm gonna give it a moment. It happens. Side note, okay, it is doing something. I see now. Side note, I develop on an OLED monitor, and I have no idea how I don't have visible burn-in from Unreal Engine. Yeah, I would say the only time I have any problem with religion is when it's harming people, but hopefully not many of those out there. Hey, that sounds good to me. At the moment, I know they want to have, well, I guess it's hard to say exactly how many playables we'll have for the tech demo, but I believe it'll be similar to the last one because we still have some work to do on the others before they're fully ready to go. I'm hoping so. But it's hard to say because so much work goes into making the playable characters. It's definitely something I'm not particularly skilled at, if I try it. We are almost done with the beaches. Just have a few more areas. That is correct. And I don't want to say for sure because I'm usually so focused on the map that I don't know all of the plans for upcoming things. Because I usually just stick to map work. So I'm not the best source of information for it, but yeah, he's definitely the best one to talk to. There are just so many plans I have for... Sorry, my voice is freaking out today. Um, there are just so many plans and things I have going on for the map that I'm usually completely focused on it, and I don't want to butt into other people's work, so I just stay out of their conversations usually. Yeah, that's what I thought for the playables, but I didn't want to say for sure just in case I was wrong. Look at that, I ended up painting some in the water. It looks like... I know I went over this area on the last stream. We're gonna go a bit further down this way. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that would be done for the next tech demo. I thought it might be a little too early. I know it takes a lot of time to set those up. No small task from what I've seen. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets worked on more often than that. Like me, for example, I work on the map every single day, but I stream twice a week. It's just that I usually do the more interesting stuff to watch on the streams, and the more technical things when I'm off stream. Although I know this hasn't been the most exciting stream to watch, but I wanted to make sure we get a lot of stuff ready for the demo. So I'm doing my part there. Possibly. I might try streaming it one of these times. It's usually not necessarily that the work I'm doing is complicated, it's that it's repetitive and tedious. Things like optimization work on the jungle, for example. I'm glad to hear it. We like to cultivate a good vibe in these areas. Yeah, in that case, we might do a little bit of optimization work here in a minute, because we're just about to finish with just getting the basic beach scatter around here. And I only recently started working on our meadow biome a little bit more. So yeah, there's definitely some stuff I need to do for optimization in that area to match the rest. For example, our smaller foliage in some, well, in all biomes that I've gotten to it on, they're using double-sided geometry without using two-sided shading, which is quite a bit cheaper with nanite. We actually do have a cave with a horseshoe crab shrine in it. I made it on one of the streams. Hello there. Good to hear it. I actually do have a dandelion model. I don't know if I've added it to the map yet. I'm about to double check, but I don't think I have, because I think the one I made is meant to be used for resources, so it's in a different location at the moment. I love how big the horseshoe crab has become. The alpha predator of the island. Clearly. It's alright, we have plenty more to go. I do it twice a week now, so I'm here a lot more often, and I'm working from home these days too, so that definitely helps. But somehow I'm more busy now, working from home. Yes, I want to see it. If it would help you at all, I have a photo scan of a horseshoe crab. And it's under public domain as well, so you could use it. There's a guy on Sketchfab who's a biologist, and he was either China or Japan. I think it's Japan. And he uploads a bunch of really high quality photo scans for free. And they're under public domain. Yes. I support this. I feel like one of these days Islander's gonna get on here and be like, you just need to chill about the horseshoe crab, bro. But you know what? We'll team up. We'll tell him. It's the alpha predator. Oh yes. Of course, I didn't do that photo scan myself, but it's from somebody who publishes them under public domain use, so it could be used. Yes. I will send it to you. I'll double check. I might have already retopologized it and all that stuff. I will not chill about the horseshoe crab, bro. I wondered if he was here. You're just upset that I sent you a beautiful story yesterday. You didn't even reply to it. Not sure I can talk to you right now. I'm too upset. Oh god. Look what started. You did this to yourself, Islander. Ooh. Like even when I'm taking a dump and stuff, because that's actually pretty cool. Or is it just when I'm streaming, and you leave me alone the rest of the time? Look at this. The people want it. We have a whole cult. Can we have a horseshoe crab church section in the Discord? Papa Islander. At least he's getting to read my beautiful story now. Can't believe I actually caught him when he's sleeping. He's always awake. Dude never sleeps. I actually loaded a little bit too far out. My apologies, everyone. We must load again. Hello. Understandable. Streaming isn't for everyone. I mean, even I don't think I'm a good streamer, but here we are. I'm doing it anyways. Mainly because I have nothing better to do. I want to hang out. Like, now it's gotten to be something I look forward to because I get to hang out with everybody here and... So, as you see, I haven't done much with the meadows yet. But we're going to do a little optimization work. Nothing wrong with being late. We're chill here. Let me double check what plants I'm using here, because that's what we're going to focus on. Yeah, that's what I worried about when I started streaming, that every time I've streamed on my personal channel, it's just me. Nobody actually watches, maybe one person. And then when people joined and everybody was so chill, then I was okay with it. Oops. Yes! Horseshoe crab getting the recognition it deserves. Excellent. Okay, so it looks like I already did do this for some of it. We have prevailed. Stall 1A. I have not done that one yet. We absolutely should have a horseshoe crab loading bar. So what we're going to do right now, this seems like a small and tedious thing, and it is tedious, but It's very important. It's like I was saying earlier, making smaller plants like this, specifically, use double-sided geometry instead of using a two-sided shader. It's quite a bit more performant with nanite. Yes, I love the enthusiasm for the horseshoe crab. The fan is always right. Except when they say horseshoe crabs are bad. Luckily, nobody here is that unreasonable. Collision? Okay, so now we have double-sided grass here. So we weld it together, give it the tiniest little bit of displacement, that the edges don't intersect. And that is the first one. Yes, we do have a wind system that the foliage reacts to. I think we already have this one double-sided. Yes. Let's see. A. Ah, we do not have 2A. This must be rectified. You're absolutely right. What a reasonable individual. Yes. I love it. Best outcome possible. Look at all this progress for the cult of the horseshoe crab in one day. And now we have double-sided grass in the meadows. That one is done. So you can let me know if you're okay with these things being on stream, but this is what I mean by tedious optimization work. Things like this. Can be a little unexciting to watch. To B. Let's see. So what I'm doing right now is going through and checking which small plants I'm using that procedurally spawn with the landscape. And I'm going to convert all of them I haven't already converted over to double-sided geometry and disable the two-sided shader for them, which will make them run quite a bit better. Let's go seeds. I have not done that yet. So it seems like a small thing, but it's a little trick that very much works with nanite. With full geometry. I should be clear with that. You'll have a bad time doing this with masked foliage. Oh yes, trust me, I love doing water simulations, so you'll see plenty of those. FPS will heavily depend on the build that you're playing with. I personally get well over 120 FPS on the map. Even in the editor, I am always over 100 FPS, but that'll depend on settings and the build you're playing with. I don't personally have a 4K monitor to test on, but I don't see any reason it wouldn't be. We have options as well for things like DLSS or frame generation if you want to use it to be able to play at high resolutions, but I would imagine it would be doable. I personally play it at 3440 by 1440, which still isn't really that close to 4K, but it's pretty high, and I do stay well over 100. Yes, he has done some of the map. Mostly our village areas. A lot of times he'll go and make certain areas, and I'll either leave it that way or I go back and touch it up a little bit. But he also, his main thing is that he organizes all of this, gets all the team together. Think of him more as a manager who will pitch in wherever he can. But yeah, I actually think he's really good at making village areas, structures, things like that, which is something that I'm not particularly strong at. I can do it, it just takes me longer than he does. The head cheese. Absolutely. I use two monitors, but of course I only play it on one because I have mine stacked vertically. But both of mine are 3440 by 1440. Hey, as long as you're happy with the monitor, that's all that matters. Yeah, we definitely support 4K, so I can't personally test it, but I see no reason you couldn't. Because we do support it. Yeah, I can't imagine anything that could actually run most games at 8K, 240 Hz. You're right, this does count as touching grass if you ask me. What are you talking about, Mom? I am touching grass. I think we're almost done converting these. Oh yes, we actually are. So now we just swap them over to the double-sided version. But yeah, I'm pretty obsessed with optimization, so I would say you have a good chance of running it the way you want to, as long as you have reasonably modern hardware within the past 5 years or so. A lot of them are a resource. Not all of them yet, but a lot of them. Yeah, it's hard to say with 4K and 8K because I've seen 8K displays, but I don't know if they were actually playing 8K content, so it's hard to say. some of these boys. Oh, I actually completely forgot, so I need to do this now. Need to set these to single-sided shading. Make sure they're all using same material first. Actually, I'm going to make a separate duplicate of the material. I don't know, it's hard to say since we can't really measure eyes and resolution, so it's hard to say. Ooh, I'm about to go have some lunch. I think I'm gonna go to Chili's today. Because I can. Let's go as tall. Double-sided. I know the feeling. I have plenty of fixing to do. Unfortunately, the more you do on a map, the more to fix. I would never leave for food. Although I guess it is almost that time, isn't it? Do a couple more of these first. Because these do need to get done. Oops. It's wetland. Ooh, fancy. I need to learn to cook. I can only make really basic things, and that's no good. Yes. Pretty much all of the plants are interactive. Ooh, yeah, that sounds like it would be pretty hard, but I'm sure you know a lot now. Very good. Yeah, as you see, this is tedious, but it definitely makes a pretty big difference on performance. Seems like a small thing, but in practice it's pretty huge. Yeah, I think the main thing I want is I would like to see more high refresh rate displays. There's lots of TVs, for example, that are advertised at 120 or more hertz, but a lot of times they don't actually have panels that are capable of that. Oh, I forgot to change the material. Okay. So I believe it is time for me to have lunch. Let me just get some of this saved and then we'll go ahead and stop for today. However, what we just did should make a pretty big difference on performance. I'm going to measure it later once I've converted them all and we'll find out. But thank you everyone for dropping by. I'll be back again on Thursday. And we'll probably do something a little less tedious for that stream so you don't have another stream just like that. But this was necessary work so we could get it done for the tech demo. So thank you all again for dropping in. And I hope to see you all again on Thursday.